안녕하세요. 스페인어 마스터리, 한국어, 영어 이중언어 사용자를 위한 A1에서 A2 전략 가이드에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 한국어와 영어라는 서로 다른 두 언어 체계를 이미 이해하고 계신 여러분은 스페인어 학습에 있어 매우 독보적인 강점을 가지고 계십니다. 오늘 이 시간에는 여러분만의 특별한 배경을 10분 활용해 가장 효율적으로 실력을 향상할 수 있는 최적의 학습 로드맵을 소개해드리고자 합니다. 그럼 바로 시작해볼까요?
Why is Spanish such a unique opportunity for Korean English bilinguals? It's because learning Spanish isn't just about adding a third language. It's about activating a powerful synergy between your existing linguistic skills. We call this the typological nexus. As you can see in the diagram, Spanish sits at a strategic intersection of its Romance roots, English's Germanic structure, and the unique linguistic framework of Korean. For a bilingual speaker, these three distinct language families overlap to create an accelerated acquisition zone. In this zone, your learning curve is fundamentally different. Because you can leverage the structural and vocabulary links from both English and Korean, your path to mastering Spanish becomes significantly faster and more intuitive. One of the greatest advantages Korean speakers have when learning Spanish is the phonetic synergy between the two languages. Both Korean and Spanish possess what linguists call shallow orthography. This simply means that letters consistently map to specific sounds every time they are written. As you can see in this vowel comparison, the 5 core Spanish vowels, a, e, o, and u, have nearly identical stable equivalents in Hangul, a, e, o, and u. This phonetic precision gives you a massive head start over monolingual English speakers. In English, which has deep orthography, a single letter like A can represent several different sounds, as heard in the words cat, father, and able. Because your native language already uses these precise one-to-one mappings, you will find achieving near-perfect Spanish pronunciation much more intuitive and straightforward. Next, let's explore an intuitive structural similarity between Spanish and Korean, the pro-drop phenomenon. Both languages naturally omit subject pronouns when the context is already clear. While English requires a mandatory subject, Spanish and Korean allow for more streamlined, native-sounding sentences by avoiding unnecessary redundancy. Looking at our examples for the phrase, I go to the store, we see that the natural Spanish phrasing is simply voy a la tienda, and in Korean it is 가게에 가요. In both instances, the subject I is understood through context or verb conjugation. A common pitfall for English learners is translating too literally. While adding the pronoun, for example saying yo voy a la tienda, is grammatically correct, it often sounds unnatural or overly emphatic to native ears. By embracing this pro-drop structure, you can instinctively form sentences that sound more authentic. Moving on to our core concepts, you actually have a significant advantage as a Korean speaker. Two of the most challenging aspects of Spanish for English learners are already conceptually familiar to you. First, let's look at the verb to be. While English uses just one word, Spanish distinguishes between ser and estar. You can think of ser as the Korean copula ira. It is used for identity and permanent traits, such as I am a student. Estar, on the other hand, maps perfectly to the existence verb ita. It is used for temporary states or locations, such as I am in the office. Second is the concept of formality. Spanish uses tú and usted to navigate social registers. This mirrors our system of banmal and hundetmal. Tú is your informal you, used with friends and peers, while usted is the formal you, used to show respect. Because these nuances are already a natural part of your native language, you are already well on your way to mastering these essential Spanish structures.
This slide outlines our structured 12-week roadmap for systematic grammar acquisition. Our goal is to guide you from foundational basics to full narrative competence through 3 distinct progressive phases. We begin with Phase 1, spanning weeks 1 through 4. Here, we focus on the foundations of identity and existence, ensuring you master the core components and basic structure of a sentence. In Phase 2, during weeks 5 through 8, we move into functional fluency and pronouns. This stage is designed to transition you from simple, static descriptions into more dynamic and interactive communication. Finally, Phase 3 concludes the program in weeks 9 through 12. This phase focuses on narrative mastery and tenses, where you will learn the essential skills for cohesive storytelling and discussing past events with confidence.
Welcome to Stage 1. Over the first 4 weeks, we focus on building the skeleton of your Spanish sentences. This phase establishes the essential foundation for all future learning by covering 3 core areas. First, we introduce essential verbs. We will master ser, estar, and tener, the fundamental verbs used to describe identity, states of being, and possession. Next, we tackle nouns and articles. This includes learning grammatical gender and number, a concept that is often brand new for both English and Korean speakers. Finally, we'll move into regular verbs, where you will learn the present tense conjugation patterns for verbs ending in ar, and ir. To see these basics in action, look at our key example. Tengo 20 años. While in English we say I am 20, Spanish uses the verb tener, literally meaning I have 20 years. Recognizing these cultural and linguistic nuances early on is crucial for natural communication.
Now we move into Stage 2, dynamic interactions, covering weeks 5 through 8. In this phase, we shift from static descriptions to functional Spanish for everyday life, focusing on actions, routines, and personal preferences. We'll start with reflexive verbs, which are essential for describing your daily routine. For example, saying, me levanto a las 7 to mean I get up at 7. Next, we'll master verbs like gustar. These follow a unique sentence structure used to express likes and dislikes, such as me gusta el café. To make your speech more fluid and natural, we will also dive into object pronouns, covering both direct and indirect forms. Finally, we'll introduce the present perfect tense, which allows you to discuss the recent past. For instance, he comido, meaning I have eaten. By the end of this month, you'll be equipped to handle much more dynamic, real-world conversations.
In weeks 9 through 12, we reach Step 3, completing past stories. This phase is a major milestone for the A2 level, as it focuses on mastering narrative fluency by learning to distinguish between different types of past actions. The core of this step is the contrast between the 2 main past tenses. First, we have the simple past, or pretérito indefinido. We use this for completed, single point-in-time actions. In contrast, we will learn the imperfect past, or pretérito imperfecto. This tense is used for setting the scene, providing background descriptions, describing ongoing situations, and talking about habitual actions in the past. Finally, we will introduce the future tense. You will learn both the simple future and the irá plus infinitive construction for near future plans. By the end of this stage, you will have the linguistic tools to tell rich, nuanced stories and discuss your future goals with confidence.
Upon completing this roadmap, you will achieve the A2 proficiency level as defined by the CEFR. This means you'll possess the practical, functional communication skills needed for everyday life. We've broken these competencies down into 4 key areas. First, in terms of interaction, you'll be able to navigate routine tasks like shopping, asking for directions, and exchanging basic personal information. Second, for description, you'll learn to speak about your background, your immediate surroundings, and your most pressing needs in simple, clear terms. Next, regarding comprehension, you will understand frequently used sentences and expressions related to areas of most immediate relevance, such as family and work information. And finally, for narration, you'll be able to describe past events and situations fluently, specifically mastering the use of both the indefinido and imperfecto tenses. Ultimately, reaching this level ensures you can confidently handle the most common interactions you'll encounter daily. An effective learning strategy requires the right tools, and these 5 acclaimed books are purpose-built to help you reach specific goals. First, for a solid foundation, we recommend Madrigal's Magic Key to Spanish. This all-in-one textbook is excellent for building early confidence by highlighting the many linguistic commonalities between Spanish and English. For those focused on structure, Easy Spanish Step by Step is a fantastic grammar workbook. It utilizes a systematic building block approach with plenty of practice exercises to reinforce your progress. To master one of the most challenging aspects of the language, Barron's 501 Spanish Verbs is the definitive resource. It provides clear alphabetical conjugations and practical examples for every verb you'll need. For immersion, Spanish Short Stories for Beginners helps bridge the gap between study and usage. It builds reading confidence through comprehensible input and realistic topics. Finally, for immediate practical application, the Easy Spanish Phrasebook offers over 700 useful daily phrases, making it perfect for quick reference and conversation. By utilizing these specialized resources, you can ensure your study time is both efficient and well-rounded.
Moving on, let's look at how we actually transfer knowledge into long-term memory. As the slide notes, how you study is just as critical as what you study. If you look at the graph on the right, you'll see the forgetting curve, that steep dotted line showing how quickly we naturally lose new information. To combat this, we use a scientifically proven method called spaced repetition. Essentially, by reviewing material at increasing intervals, we reset the curve, as shown by those upward spikes. Notice how after each review, the memory decay becomes much slower. For a practical application, we can use the 2-3-5-7 rule. This involves a summary 2 hours after a lesson, active recall 3 days later, contextual practice at day 5, and a final review on day 7. The core principle driving this entire process is active recall. To make this work, you must move beyond passive rereading and focus on actively testing yourself. This is the most effective way to ensure that what you learn today stays with you for the long term. Looking at this stunning view of the Alhambra, we're reminded of the incredible cultural rewards that come with language learning. As we conclude, I want to leave you with one final thought. Your bilingual brain is your greatest asset. You already possess the cognitive flexibility and unique linguistic strengths needed to excel. Throughout this session, we've provided the map and the strategic tools to help you unlock your full potential in Spanish. The path forward is clear, and as a bilingual learner, the advantage is truly yours. It is time to start. Embrace those strengths and begin your journey toward mastery today. As it says here, vamos, capshida. Let's go.